We're going to be in TV. We're going to be on TV. Real world responsibilities? School Monday to Friday? Let's turn this quote-unquote quick layover into a 4-day rebellion and life, where the only syllabus is sunburns, spontaneous scooter rides, and Balinese feasts. We arrived so late last night that all we could manage to do was crash into bed. No exploring, no midnight stacks, just pure exhausted zombie mode. Just meant we woke up extra ready to attack the hotel breakfast buffet like we hadn't eaten in years. We definitely had, but vacation hunger hits different. After stuffing ourselves with enough pastries and tropical fruit to fuel a small army, we did the most logical thing, retreated back to the room for a strategic rest session, aka scrolling through socials and staying connected with family. Speaking of staying connected, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe to our socials, and hit the bell icon so you're always notified whenever we drop fresh content. This pool is basically screaming our name. Crystal blue water, that perfect, just cool enough temperature, and lounge chairs. I finally gave in and dipped into the pool, because let's be real, that water was basically begging me to jump in. My only mission is to achieve maximum relaxation mode before the reality of school mode begins. One lazy upload at a time. Though my sunscreen is already sweating off and SPF 50 is no match for my commitment to staying exactly this lazy. For the next few hours, my biggest challenges are remembering to reapply sunscreen, the jury is still out on that one, and not drifting away on this pool floaty because one wrong wiggle and suddenly I'm in no man's land, kicking like a confused turtle paddling back to safety. But hey, if the worst thing that happens today is me getting too relaxed, I'll call that a win. Meanwhile, Mama's living her best dry and dignified life on the lounge chair, refusing to soak to the pool's call. Why dunk your whole body when you can achieve peak relaxation with zero effort and, more importantly, zero wet hair? Absolutely no intention of moving unless it's for another food. After spending what felt like hours floating around in the pool, half relaxing, half panicking, I suddenly realized I was completely exhausted and my stomach was growling loud enough to scare my soul. I dragged myself out of the water, dripping everywhere, and told Mama, who was still perfectly dry and comfortable on her lounge chair of course, that I needed food immediately or I might actually perish right there by the poolside. And you don't want that, Mama, do you? You don't want your only daughter to perish. We dried off quickly, well, I dried off quickly, and headed out into the busy streets of Kuta. We didn't have any particular restaurant in mind, you were just wandering aimlessly. The sun was blazing hot, my hair was still damp, and I was starting to think we'd never find somewhere to eat when suddenly... Mama? There it was, a small, unassuming warung with a handwritten sign advertising their special Babi Guling. It wasn't fancy and it wasn't somewhere we'd researched, but it was good enough to have our lunch here. Without even discussing it, we both headed straight for the plastic chairs outside. The menu was simple. They basically served one thing, roast pig with all the traditional sides. We ordered 2 portions and some cold drinks, and within minutes we were presented with these plates of food. The meat was tender and flavorful, accompanied by spicy sambal, crispy pork bits, vegetables, and rice. The flavors were savory, spicy, a little sweet, everything you'd want in a Balinese meal. It wasn't Instagram famous, the kind of authentic local food when traveling. The pork skin wasn't crackling crisp. I thought it was gonna be crispy.
Adobo. Parang ano siya, pork floss. Kainin mo, masarap siya.
There's more than one type of floss? I'm hoping that itong floss na ito, mawawhiten yung teeth ko. By the time we finished, my hunger was completely satisfied and we were both in much better moods. And I saw this sign.
Gigi, dentist pala ikaw.
This reminding me of my auntie, Mama Gigi. Yes, I call my auntie Mama despite the fact that Mama is just like another word for mother. But who cares? It's my family and I call them Mama. Well, I call my aunties Mama. Do you know that feeling when it's scorching hot outside? The kind of heat that makes you question every life decision and yet you still buy a steaming cup of coffee? Like the sun is practically melting the pavement, sweat is dripping down your back and armpit even though you took a bath and you still feel so sticky? And there she is, casually sipping her latte. She's basically being powered by caffeine alone. Is she immune to it? Either way, her commitment to coffee is in another level. Just a few moments later, we found ourselves wandering through the vibrant neighborhoods of Kuta, soaking in the vibrant energy of everyday life. Kids squealing with laughter as tiny fish nibbled at their feet in a makeshift foot spa.
Try natin. Try mo. Sige, pagbalik na lang.
Other giggles mixing with the constant purr of motorbikes zipping past. A lazy dog sprawled across the sidewalk, completely loosened by the chaos. There was something magical about the way ordinary moments here felt so alive. As we strolled further, the salty breeze guided us towards Kuta Beach, where the breathtaking sunset awaited. The closer we got, the more the world seemed to slow down. The distant crash of waves and the golden glow of the sky all blended into a perfect afternoon. And it all blended into a lethal view for my eyes. But actually, it all blended together into a perfect afternoon. And over there, someone decided to light up their money. Well, I mean, they put on a fireworks display.
Nag-branch out ikaw ng mga dentist dito sa Indonesia? Nag-branch out na rin ikaw ng toothpicks?
Another day, another pool day. Ah, this is life. This has become my temporary reality and I'm savoring every second of it. With just 2 days left before we head back to Australia, I can already feel the weight of reality creeping in. School days, boring routines, and winter coats are waiting. But for now, I'm clinging to this tropical bliss. The water is warm, the sun is generous, and time moves slower here. I want to soak it all in before the real world demands my attention again and again and again. Why does real life have to be so brutal, man? This is the kind of luxury I'd never trade. The freedom to be in a pool or stroll along the beach any day of the year. Southeast Asia's weather is like a permanent invitation to live in swimwear, where every monsoon rains feel like a warm embrace rather than a deterrent. Unlike back home, where seasons dictate your plans, here the only question is, pool or ocean today? If you choose ocean, you can float in the shallows all day, or even all night without a care. You could literally eat your breakfast while bobbing in the waves the next morning, because the worst thing that might bother you is an overly curious fish. But in Australia, oh, if you tried that, you wouldn't have breakfast. You would be breakfast. Oh, no. Between the sharks, jellyfish, and crocodiles, depending on where you are, the ocean isn't just a swim spot, it's a survival challenge, and I'm not even exaggerating. The wildlife there treats the water like its personal buffet. And don't even get me started on the spiders and the snakes. Anyway, enough of that. I'm not trying to be nitpicky, I'm just stating facts. In Southeast Asia, the sea is your playground. The shallow seas, of course. In Australia, it's more like a thrilling game of how long can I stay in before somebody tries to eat? Even in the waves of the water can drag you into your last breath. But for now, I'm milking every second of this poolside holiday. Why wander anywhere else when I've got fresh chlorinated crystal water and sunshine? No crowds, no itineraries, Just me and this floaty that isn't even mine, and the glorious absence of real world, and of course Mama in a distant lounge chair. Sure, monsoon season brings its quirks, sudden downpours, choppy waves, or the occasional overcast sky. But even then, the water stays inviting. Raindrops mixing with pool water, knowing you're still warmer than you'd ever be in an Australian winter. Right now, this is my paradise. After swimming, splashing, and pretending to be a mermaid, I suddenly realized just how exhausting doing absolutely nothing in the water can be. My arms felt like noodles, my energy was drained, and my stomach started growling louder. Clearly, it was time to refuel. Energy levels hit zero. There was only one solution. Food! And not just any food. We needed a meal worthy of our very hard work of relaxing all morning. So we dragged our sun-kissed, slightly pruny selves out of the pool and made our way to this eatery. Warung Alam Sari is exactly the kind of gem you hope to stumble upon in Bali. Tucked away from the crowded tourist strips, this cozy local eatery serves up authentic Indonesian Balinese flavors in the most unpretentious, welcoming setting. I immediately asked Mama to order me a bowl of soto ayam. And before you judge me for craving hot soup in Bali's sweltering heat, let me explain. There's something deeply comforting about a steaming bowl of broth, especially when it's as flavorful as this. Maybe it's an Asian thing. But if you want me to eat like there's no tomorrow, just hand me a dish with soup. Soto ayam, for the uninitiated, is Indonesia's iconic yellow chicken soup. Fragrant turmeric-infused broth, tender shredded chicken, rice cakes or lontong, but I prefer bihon, and a confetti of crispy shallots, slices of tomatoes, coriander, and lime. It's the ultimate bowl of light yet satisfying that keep you slurping. After I ate, we went to the adjacent eatery, Warung Wijaya. As we approached, the aroma of simmering broth bubbling away in massive pots right outside the entrance. It was the kind of smell that immediately makes your stomach hangrier, promising hearty homemade flavors. Yummy. No fancy decor, no inflated prices, just honest, delicious food. Mama went for the soto bakso sapi and rice. Sapi means cow, I think, from my clouded memories of Indonesian classes, and bakso means balls. That's the glorious meatball floating in there. Because here in Asia, if it's edible, we'll probably shape it into a ball. Ball. Fish balls, squid balls, tofu balls, you'll name it, we've rounded it. Google Asian food balls and prepare to fall down a culinary rabbit hole of balls. I don't know why we're so obsessed with spherical food. Maybe it's the satisfying chew, or maybe it's because of the dirty maths people or something, or maybe it's just fun to poke things with chopsticks, or maybe we secretly believe round food tastes better. She also couldn't resist ordering a cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. Through here in Southeast Asia, our version is often a green-skinned citrus fruit, usually jeruk nipis or jeruk limau. But in this case, it's called jeruk pontianak. I'm sorry. It's tartar, brighter, and infinitely more refreshing than standard oranges.
So good.
Try. Pwedeng sa akin na to?
Don't let the color fool you. This underrated juice drink packs a punch of zesty, almost floral acidity that's next level thirst quenching. If you're visiting the tropics, I beg you, skip the bottled OJ and try this. One sip and you'll wonder why the rest of the world hasn't caught on yet. With their acidic flavored orange juice that gave me a stomachache. Oh, no. How dare they? It was served ice cold with just a hint of sugar to tame its zesty tang. This vibrant green citrus juice is the ultimate antidote to Bali's sweltering heat. Each sip is like a burst of liquid air conditioning, reviving, refreshing, and so bright it practically makes your taste buds stand at attention. And of course, true to form, Mama couldn't resist maximizing the experience. The lime wedge that came as garnish for her soto ayam squeezed straight into her juice because why not?
This spiciness makes me want to sneeze.
Because in the tropics, more citrus equals more better, more better, more better. It's the kind of drink that makes you pause mid-sip, contemplate your life choices, and go, why does this taste like sunshine? Perfect alongside soto bakso sapi or any other hot soup. The rice topped with crispy shallots for extra texture. Soto bakso sapi was springy, bouncy meatballs in that broth, soaking up all the flavors.
Sarap ah.
It's texture heaven. And Mama, she was all in, alternating between slurping broth and munching her bakso. For those that are curious, soto bakso sapi. It's a whole meal in a bowl. The rice bulks it up, and the meatballs, they're the chewy umami packed. Add a squeeze of lime, a dollop of sambal, and you've got a dish that's somehow light yet filling, simple yet complex. Next time you see a menu full of ball dishes, just lean in. Resistance is futile. No, I'm not gonna say that. Resistance is futile.
I went from this to this. It's not just about changing, because when God...
We were running low on cash, and Mama exchanged some money to keep our food adventure going. Pro tip, always use authorized exchange shops, the proper storefront ones, for the best rates. With fresh stacks of lupia, our food mission was back on. Around us, Bali's signature stray dogs napped lazily in patches of shade, completely unfazed by the tropical heat. As we continued exploring, intricate Balinese wood carvings decorated in shopfront. Local artisans displayed their handcrafted treasures along the streets, from ornate masks to delicate sculptures and questionable choice of a body part to sculpt. Poor Mama, so traumatized. Why so many people in Bali so Why can't you sculpt butt as well? More child-friendly, because children, they like to talk about butts and farts. Just ask people that are under grade 3, they tell you all about butt and the anatomy of a fat. I'm so sorry, kids. Of course, Mama couldn't leave without treating herself to a gorgeous handmade dress, the ultimate wearable souvenir. The vibrant batik patterns and flowing fabric practically called her name as we passed the local shops. Oh, and of course I got hangry again, because I've been walking all day. Then we spotted this restaurant with an amazing promo. Kids like me eat free! All we had to do was order one full-priced adult meal and boom! My food was completely free. No tricks, just a full, delicious meal for 0 rupiah. I know it feels like it's still the afternoon, but this meal is doubling as our dinner. As I browsed the menu, one item instantly caught my eye. I'll show you later why. And then Mama ordered hers. Reminder, if you see a price like 39 or 65 on a menu here in Bali, don't get too excited. Those numbers come with 3 extra zeros at the end. So 39 means 39,000 rupiah and 65 is 65,000 rupiah. As always, I went straight for rice. This time with smoky tender barbecue pork ribs, plus a side of crispy cucumber and juicy tomato, because fiber is your friend and nobody wants post-meal regrets, aka constipation.
I'm getting another one. Ang laki na ng mga utensils.
As I dug into those tender ribs, the kind that clings to the bone just enough to make you work for it, like work your teeth around it, like you put your molars here and you put your crown teeth there and you put your fangs on it. Any dish paired with rice transforms into pure comfort. Those plain white grains elevate every flavor, turning humble meals into feasts and fueling you through anything. As an Asian kid, rice is my ultimate fuel. I mean, some of you might not even like rice, but that's okay. Please try it. Mama, meanwhile, kept it classic with a margarita pizza, tangy tomato sauce, and that perfect charred crust. She asked for chili sauce and the restaurant surprised her with chili oil instead. Because Mama adores chili oil, she even whips up her own batches at home. One drizzle later and her simple pizza became a spicy umami masterpiece. Oh, last summer, she grew her own bird's eye chilies and brewed her signature volcanic chili oil. For 7 glorious or terrifying days, she baptized every meal in liquid fire. Chili sauce at breakfast, lunch, dinner. Scrambled eggs, drenched. Noodles, flooded. Even her avocado toast wasn't safe from the liquid fire. Then came the discovery. During what should have been a routine bathroom visit, she found her backside mimicking a ketchup bottle. This is what happens. This is what happens when you get too big for your britches, mama. She thought that it's just a one-time thing. But no, as the evidence kept flowing, literally. Ew. Oh, no, I'm joking, sorry. Even her ironclad spice tolerance met its match. As the scarlet sightings continued, evidence kept appearing. Mama's anxiety skyrocketed. Visions of hospital trips. And she stopped eating anything with chilies for a while. Mama, so weak. Even Thai people don't have crimson whippings and yet they eat pad Thai every day. So weak. You have Bicol Express. You even cook it for Papa. And he's Bicol and he wants a taste of home. And you can't even survive 1 week of spice high. And yes, this is very hypocritical because I can't go 1 pack of yakisoba without also drinking water or eating chocolate. Sorry, Mama. When her plumbing finally returned to normal, she swore never again that she would treat her digestive system like a chili endurance challenge. Turns out, even spice legends have limits. Lesson learned? Sometimes, your butt sends the memo before your brain does. Oh, I never expected the free kids meal to include dessert. A whole scoop of ice cream. In that moment, I wished I could stay this age forever just to keep scoring these sweet free meal deals.
It's nice. It's so fun.
When the bill arrived, complete with service charge and tax, the total came to 194,000 rupiah, which is $12.50 US dollars and 18.29 Australian dollars. Not bad at all for such a satisfying feast.
Mama, BGO yan.
I know. How's your Bali?
It's good.
Especially the free meal.
Yeah, the free stomachache.
Well, I'm not complaining. At least I grew more gut bacteria in me. The good kind.
Yeah.
We reached the shore just in time, as the horizon began to set fire with hues of orange, pink, and gold. It was one of those moments where time stood still and all you could do was watch in awe. The sun dipping low, casting its final dazzling light over the ocean, turning Kuta Beach into this majestic moment. People strolled along the shore, their dark shapes contrasting with the fiery hues, pausing to take photos or simply soak in the view. And for a brief moment, everything felt exactly as it should be. Unplanned, unfiltered, and utterly unforgettable. But the one thing that stood out more than anything else was the scattered plastic. Water bottles half buried in the sand, forgotten wrappers fluttering the seashore, and the careless leftovers of visitors who had walked away without a second thought. These remnants of carelessness clashed with the natural beauty around, turning what should have been a pristine shoreline into a reminder of human indifference. The ocean, the sunset, all of it was still breathtaking, but now marred by the undeniable truth. It was as if the earth had offered us paradise, and in return we had left behind nothing but rubbish. Ungratefulness. If we want this paradise to be appreciated by the next generation, the solution is simple. We must stop littering. No one is asking us to spend hours cleaning, but the least we can do is take our trash with us. Every plastic bottle picked up, every wrapper properly thrown away makes a difference. This isn't just about keeping a beach beautiful, it's about respecting the planet that gives us so much. Let's help each other, not because we're forced to, but because it's the right thing to do. After all, if we can't even do this small act of care, what kind of future are we leaving behind? Today is our last full day in this paradise. Tomorrow, we'll fly back home. As I soak in the pool one final time, I'll know I'll miss the water, the sun, and the peacefulness of this place. But while I leave this pool behind, the memories I've made here will stay with me forever. And yes, I'll even miss this floaty, my trusty unicorn that taught me how to float. That wasn't even mine, but I found it and I floated with it anyways, and I fell off of it, and I can't forget that. I'm going to miss you, my precious unicorn. I was laughing at how attached I've gotten to a silly inflatable that wasn't even mine.
Oh! Go.
Speaking of good memories, the food here has been another highlight. Hunger strikes again. We saw this by accident. This is another bakso, because nothing fixes post-swim hunger like a steaming bowl of Indonesian comfort food. We walked in and saw this menu. The most expensive order you could get here is 20,000 Indonesian rupiah, but it's still very cheap in my opinion, which is about... And for my fellows lazy to convert. And maybe you can spend more based on how many, and maybe you'll add drinks on top of that. And while it's very affordable, it's almost too cheap for how good it is, the staff are friendly too. They're always ready to help you decide what to order. What makes it even better is the customization. You get to choose your own noodles, pile on fresh vegetables, and add crispy fried sides to your bowl. It's like building your perfect meal. And if I remember correctly, they used to give free tea bottle, aka iced tea, with every order, though I'm not sure if they still do. The star of the show, though, is the meatballs. They're not just filler, they're thick, meaty, and full of flavor. We ordered 2 bowls immediately, the beef chinkang for me and bakso iga for her.
Terima kasih.
But let's be real, when hunger strikes, no one waits for the aesthetic B-roll shoot. I dove in like a starved raccoon. The beef chinkang, sinkang, I don't know. A chunky mixed texture that makes you chew just a little slower to savor it. But it's so good! Both bowls swam in fried shallot, crispy fried wonton for an extra crunchy texture, and coriander or cilantro to enhance the flavor and provide a burst of fresh and citrusy taste. The soup is light but packed with garlicky, beefy goodness flavor. One slurp of that steaming broth and she already started sweating like crazy. The weather is like an oven and you're basically cooking yourself from the inside out. Her bakso iga had a tender, bouncy meatball clinging to a beef rib like they were made to be together. But here's the twist, you'll still finish it all. Because pain is temporary, but flavor sticks with you forever. And just when you think the heat torture is over, think again. She casually ordered a steaming hot coffee, as if the molten bakso broth wasn't punishment enough. She just finished a bowl of lava hot soup in tropical hell weather, and now she's voluntarily adding fuel to the fire with caffeine. Mama spotted a pickup truck loaded with fresh durian, one of her all-time favorites. But since we just finished the heavy meal, she decided to skip. Maybe next time we'll come back just for that. I stopped by a few souvenir shops to pick up some keepsakes. I grabbed a few small trinkets, a set of 2 keychains, and a set of 2 fridge magnets.
This is your fridge magnet and this is your key.
If you're wondering what I did to the second fridge magnet and second keychain, I gave them to my family members. We headed back to our accommodation, and of course, being a certified water girl, I couldn't resist another quick dip in the pool for just a few minutes. For 2 hours. Really, I just needed to burn off some of the insane amount of energy and calories from the feast I was planning to indulge in later. This time, Mama joined me, which meant no footage of our pool antics. Speaking of feasts, one of the tenants at our hotel had raved about a nearby warung, promising next-level satisfaction without draining our wallets. The way they described it made it sound like a culinary steal, and since it was just a short walk away, we decided it was the perfect spot for dinner. Luck was on our side when we arrived at Warung Ayuna Chinese food and seafood. It wasn't packed, meaning there was no chaotic wait, just a relaxed, no-frills vibe with the mouth-watering aroma of wok-tossed dishes. The menu was a treasure trove of options, from rich Chinese-style stir-fries to fresh seafood. And the prices? It felt like stumbling upon a hidden gem that hadn't been ruined by tourist markups yet. The real shocker, seafood dishes started at 30,000 rupiah. That's barely $2 US. Back home, that wouldn't even get you a sad fish stick. Watching a skilled chef in action, one who cooks that every ingredient is mentally measured before it even hits the wok. We don't need precise measurements. We just use feeling. That's why it tastes so good. We put feeling in it. This cook was no exception, his hands moving with practiced ease as he calculated each addition to the seafood fried rice. The way he tossed the ingredients, adjusting the flames to chase that wok hay, that smoky, charred essence of great stir-fry. Every swirl of the wok was deliberate, every flick of the wrist timed perfectly to build layers of flavor. Then came the egg. In the same blazing wok, he cracked it open, letting the edges sizzle and crisp into golden lace while the yolk stayed just runny. The result, contrasting textures, crisp edges. That's exactly how a fried egg should be. Crunchy, smoky, and utterly irresistible. Next up was the stir-fried kangkong, or the water spinach. Their stems staying crisp and tender while soaking up the savory sauce. The wok's high heat locked in freshness while adding that signature smoky depth.
Yum. It's really good.
Finally, he tackled the fried bihon, because he deftly mixed them with some egg and prawn, vegetables, soy sauce, stock, and a bit of boom boom power. I guess we know what it was. This umami crack. A little bit of ketchup manis to balance the flavor. And finally, he puts the bihon and just the right amount of char, and voila! It's done and it's time to eat! I start eating already. I try to wait, I really do, but once she starts panning her camera for the b-roll and capturing every angle, it's just too hard to hold back. I'm sorry, mama. The smell of the food and the hunger all mixed together, and before I know it, I've taken my first bite. But mama really doesn't mind at all, because when you're hungry, patience is lame. We just ordered something light, sticking to our go-to favorites, kangkong, savory seafood fried rice, and flavorful fried bihon. It's light, satisfying, and always hits me right on the spot. Since we hate wasting food, we kept our order simple, knowing we can always add more if we're still hungry after, because we don't hesitate to go for another round. Small bites, shared plates, and just enjoying the moment without going overboard. No leftovers, no guilt, just enjoying the bite at our own pace. Today's the day we fly back home to the land down under. But before we face the long flight, the 7-hour flight for me is already long, we prepared our stomachs for the gluten-filled journey ahead. 4 days in Bali flew by too fast, and saying goodbye to this island paradise isn't easy. Lazy pool floats, spicy street food feasts will be gone after this. Every moment here has been memorable, but reality calls and it's time to pack up our memories and maybe a few extra snacks before the trip back. We made a quick breakfast stop at Pepito Express, a convenience store along Jalan Kartika Plaza. Welcome to the gluten section. Even though gluten always leaves us bloated, we still can't resist buying something just to indulge our cravings. Good food getting worth bloated for. And if I'm going to suffer from stomach pain anyways, I might as well make it worth it. So I choose a pain au chocolat. Fitting, right? After all, the name literally has pain in it. Then Mama goes and orders herself a cromboloni. It's a pastry hybrid of croissant and bomboloni, which is basically a donut rolled in sugar with filled pastry cream, with its flaky layers, custard-filled center, and topped with glossy chocolate. The diabetes starter pack, if you will. I'm sorry. Or for the Filipinos, diabetes. Are you happy? They also have a noodle station, which I decided not to try. Another stomachache station, but it was loaded with vitamin C. Of course, we couldn't ignore the microwavable food section and the little souvenir section on this side of the shop. And then I tried some. The staff helped us to draw the ice cream, and he had to pack it in a proper container because the ice cream here is all generously loaded. And we ate them on the patio.
Nice. Can I try?
Mama saved her coffee for takeaway, caffeinating for the walk ahead. Our next destination would test our already strained stomachs. Our destination? A place so aromatic, the smoky scent of charring meat practically dragging you down by the nostrils like a cartoon character floating on a barbecue-scented cloud. Muslim Pojok Madura. This scene was chaos in the best way. A grill overflowing with orders, an auntie working like a seasoned alchemist, and a queue of skewers so long it could probably wrap around the shop. Chicken, mutton, beef, satay, and mutton soup. This place had all the carnivorous bases covered. The real spectacle? Watching the grill masters work. Each skewer getting its perfect char while that peanut sauce auntie waited like a saucier sniper to drench them in glory. Post-grill, the skewers entered their final transformation, a baptism by peanut sauce. The auntie wielded every stick in the plate with peanut sauce, ensuring each skewer left dripping with nutty, slightly sweet sauce and an additional ketchup manis on top. We ordered 2 kinds of satay beef and mutton. Ayaw makan! The beef satay delivered a deep, smoky grilled char. Imagine caramelized edges giving way to tender, slightly chewy centers. With Indonesian soul with the peanut sauce, it becomes a textural symphony, crunchy, creamy, and umami all at once. Then the kambing or the mutton satay, bolder and gamier than beef, but in the best way. The fat renders into silky pockets between the meat, while the grill smoke cuts through any richness. And boy, and golly, they were so good. Then, the mutton soup, or the sop kambing. This is comfort in a bowl. The broth bursts with warm spices, clove, cinnamon, and star anise, slow cooked until meat tender. The mutton tastes mellow, not funky, with collagen-rich depth. In this restaurant, we saw this guy. I remember that he inhaled that. The smoke didn't come out of his mouth, but it came out of his nose. Like a bull. Leaving Bali after an incredible holiday feels bittersweet. It's like a holiday that you never wanted to finish. This island taught me that paradise isn't just enjoyed by reading a book or looking at it on the internet, but something that we need to experience personally. It's in the messy, magnificent moments between plants. I'll miss the way the ocean turned gold at dusk in Kuta, the sound of sizzling sound drifting through warungs, and even the chaotic charm of Kuta's motorbike traffic. Most of all, I'll miss the joy of discovering that the best memories often come from unplanned detours, like that hidden satay spot we stumbled upon thanks for the smoky scent that drags us by the nostrils. Okay, this is it. Now we're heading to the airport. Bali gifted me lessons I'll carry everywhere. Slow down. Say yes to random invitations, especially if they involve food. Hello, 30,000 Indonesian rupiah seafood feast, and that plastic pollution is a heartbreaking reality even in paradise. A reminder to travel more mindfully. Mostly, Bali showed me how little we truly need to feel rich. Sunshine, a full stomach, and someone to share the view with. The most memorable experiences weren't the Instagrammable ones. They were the sensory snapshots I'll never forget. The Babi Guling, the way the warung chef's hands moved like a conductor's while tossing noodles, the hilarity of trying to pronounce Jeruk Pontianak correctly. Hey! Look, I pronounced it correctly! These are the threads that weave a trip from nice vacation to I'll talk about this forever but with my family instead of my classmates. I'm already planning my return. For the sambal I didn't try, the temples I haven't visited, and yes, another reunion with warung I enjoyed eating. Bali, terima kasih, which means thank you, for the sunburns, the spice-induced mucus, and the reminder that adventure isn't about going places, it's about letting a place change you.
I saw Cruella de Vil. And buti na lang I'm not a Dalmatian.
I know.
Okay, so that was supposed to be the end of what I was going to say, but I had more things to say, so I'm going to say them now. Bye, luggages! Enjoy your temporary resting place in the belly of the plane while we squeeze into our budget airline seats!
Yeah,
Sure.
and the gate will close at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Terima kasih.
And Mama handed our boarding passes, feeling like... crossing my fingers that our flight won't be delayed. After all, nothing tests patience like airport chairs and the voiceover of the PA system saying, "We regret to inform you," and blah blah blah. But for now, optimism reigns in our side. At least we've already accepted our fate as budget travelers.
Let's go!
And we've armed ourselves with the ultimate pre-flight survival meal. Classic fried chicken, a mountain of chips, and most crucially, extra chili sauce because blandness is the real enemy for this food.
Ano lasa?
As we demolish our makeshift feast, I can't help but enjoy at how this greasy, finger-licking meal somehow tastes better when you're about to be confined to a seat side by side with each other like a sardine can.
Mama, try it. You're welcome, Mama.
Waddling towards the pre-departure area, I'm struck by how Bali refuses to let go. Even here, the airport equipped with this gorgeous decor, like this wooden beach-inspired arches and cultural touches. And then this. There's no jet bridge for this flight, like that's our private jet moment, just without the champagne or legroom. Close enough, right? Instead, we'll be trekking across the tarmac like VIPs, if VIPs meant very intensely packed passengers. But then that would be VIPP. What? We finally settled in our seats, saying our last goodbyes and saying hello to our next destination.
Ano sabihin?
Hello.
Hi.
We're going back.
The cool mist swirling from the air vents feels refreshing, though for a second it's a bit alarming. It looks like we're getting gassed by a terror. But there's no need to worry. This is totally normal. It happens when the plane's cold air conditioning meets warm, humid air, creating condensation. Just like how your glasses fog up when you step from an air-conditioned room into the tropical heat. We are moving on.
Ano yan, ma'am?
We're going to be in TV. We're going to be on TV.